She was left with a big hole in her face after filler failure. Changing features of one's face, such as the lips, nose, cheekbones, or forehead, is rather prevalent these days. It's simple to get into, and many so-called specialists work in the plastic surgery industry. However, not all of them are legitimate, and it's critical to always get treatment from a licensed physician who knows what they're doing. Gina Anderson of Oregon discovered this, but it was too late for her. Anderson, a neurologist, wanted to look better when she turned 40, so she made some changes. Years later, a colleague assisted her with cosmetic fillers, only for things to spiral out of control. Gina developed a large inflammatory reaction under her right eye, and it was later discovered that she'd been injected with silicone. Anderson was left with a huge hole on her cheek, and the problem worsened. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to be inspired by these real-life stories on a daily basis. Now, let's return to the story. Gina went to the physicians on the TV show Botched in hopes of getting the aid she needed to restore her look. Here's what happened, and this is how Gina Anderson now appears. One of the most crucial aspects of life is feeling at ease in your own skin. It doesn't matter if you're bigger, skinnier, taller or shorter, bald or hairless, or anything else. Sure, we all have things about which we aren't entirely satisfied, but in the end, feeling at ease and appreciating who you are is essential in life. The trick is to embrace oneself rather than seeking approval from others. While some people cope by changing their haircuts, going to the gym, or even undergoing surgery, others believe that fundamental change is required. We will always stress the importance of doing whatever makes you happy and comfortable. However, if you're considering plastic surgery for any reason, we recommend that you consult with a legitimate specialist, because your life's on the line. Do your homework thoroughly. Research would have been beneficial to Gina Davidson of Oregon. She's a neurologist, and when she hit 40, she wanted to do something to improve her appearance. When a colleague volunteered to do fillers for me, I thought, well, I'm in my 40s, I'm going to look a little better, she claimed on the reality show Botched. Gina mistakenly believed she was getting Restylane and Juvederm, 2 filler treatments. However, it was later discovered that she'd been injected with silicone, which had completely altered her appearance. Her right eye and a portion of her cheek were disfigured as a result of the silicone. The silicone injectors were not only illegal, but they also left her eye and cheek irritated. Despite the fact that she had silicone injections in both cheeks, only the left side received the treatment. Gina and her husband eventually came to the conclusion that it was because she got 2 distinct injections with 2 different goods. Things had gotten really terrible 4 years later. The dreadful side effects of the illegal silicone injections were starting to manifest. A granuloma is a type of inflammation that occurs when immune cells clump together and form nodules at the site of an infection or inflammation. Granulomas, according to Mayo Clinic specialists, are defensive mechanisms that cause the body to fight foreign materials, typically to prevent bacteria from spreading. Gina's granuloma on her face and eye was, in theory, trying to protect her. However, it turned to be something right out of a nightmare, actually. The granuloma had grown enormous in a couple of days, according to Gina. Then it broke open all of a sudden. It just went boom, and there were these just massive granulomas, Gina explained. Gina realized she needed to get assistance at that point. She underwent 5 corrective procedures to remove the silicone, but none of them worked, and the granulomas reappeared. She was left with a gaping hole in her cheek in the end. Gina explained, I had to close my practice. You can't sleep and are in excruciating pain. It's difficult to constantly think on your feet. This isn't just a case of me appearing marginally attractive. I'm in excruciating pain. I can't sleep, and my hair's begun to thin, resembling hair loss. And I've recently begun to feel weak and tired. It's an absolute nightmare. Gina hadn't gotten the help she needed and chose to seek it from Dr. Terry Dubrow and Dr. Paul Nassif, who appeared on the reality TV show Botched. A granuloma, which is a foreign body inflammation reaction, usually takes 6 months to a year to develop, Dr. Dubrow stated. The fact that Gina didn't develop those granulomas until much later suggests it's a slow, smoldering inflammatory chronic response that could be very difficult, if not impossible, to treat. Gina had to have 2 more treatments at the Botched clinic, despite the fact that her 5 surgeries had made the hole in her cheek disappear. They injected some of her belly fat beneath her cheek skin to add volume to the area. Gina's procedures were performed by Dr. Paul Nassif. He detected strange things during the initial surgery, he claimed. He had apparently taken what he described as a piece of gauze from her face. Later, Gina said that her discomfort was gradually subsiding and that she was finally able to sleep. "I'm just thankful that I finally have the opportunity to regain my life because things were starting to seem bleak. This is the most positive I felt in a long time, so I'm crossing my fingers that this is the end of my personal torment." However, the relief of being able to sleep and not being in constant pain didn't last long. Unfortunately for Gina, the first treatment had significant difficulties, and the swelling in her cheek returned. The disorders are known as recurrent seromas, according to Dr. Nassif. Gina had no choice but to undergo the knife once more. "At this point, my only option is to open her up again, look for the seroma capsule and remove it completely, and hopefully that'll be it," Nassif explained. Gina's body is constantly producing fluid in her cheek following her first operation for whatever reason. "What's causing this? I'm not sure," he added. "This only goes to demonstrate that you can never foresee what will happen to a face that's had silicone injected into it when it comes to healing." Gina eventually achieved the results she sought the second time around. Her face had returned to normal and she was unbelievably delighted. Gina was eager to begin her new life when the doctors had completed their work. "We can tell she's happy based on the current photo after the second procedure on botched. Gina appears to be in great shape. My energy level is rising and my mood is genuinely improving," she remarked. "My hair loss has stopped and my hair is actually starting to regrow. My mental process is actually growing faster," she added. "It's nothing short of a miracle. It's simply life-altering." Don't you think Gina looks fantastic now? Plastic surgery should only be conducted by a qualified professional. So if you're considering a procedure, make sure you go to a qualified professional. Though some people want to change the features of their body, we should always aim to be happy and secure in who we are, even though it might be difficult at times. Finally, we're always important, and there's always something to be proud of. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone else who might enjoy it as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.